Hi, friends, and welcome to the Anniversary Podcast. I'm Mary, your host, and this is the space where we celebrate another year, reflect on what it's taught us, and talk honestly what it means and what it really takes to keep choosing each other. Anniversaries aren't about just marking time. They're about honoring growth. So today I'm so thrilled to sit down with Veronika and Tony. They've been together for 16 years, which is so exciting, and we're so excited to celebrate with you guys. Is it been 16? Because you said you came here in 2010.
We've been married for maybe 14 years.
Okay, 14 years. That's okay.
It's
all good.
Yeah, it's all good. It happens. So take us back briefly. How did you meet, and kind of if you can compare that version of yourselves to now, what's changed the most? So kind of give us the rundown.
Okay.
Do you want the real story or his story?
Well, there's two versions. So you go first, and then I'll correct it.
Well, no, you go first, and
Okay.
then I'll tell the real story.
So we met through my best friend.
Yeah.
Right. Veronika was living in Europe at the time. She was out here visiting. I grew up in Brigham City. That's where his family was from. He had moved, I think, down to Provo, but his family was still in Brigham City. Veronika was friends with them, and she came out to visit them and some other people here in Utah. She has some ties here. And so, that's where I met her. It was actually at Sugar House Park in Salt Lake, basically.
Yeah.
On the 4th of July.
Oh, fun.
That was one of our favorite things to do, was go down there for the fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
And we're kind of sad that they don't do them anymore. Or maybe they do. I don't know. We've since moved to Ogden.
Yeah.
But that was a happy moment in my life. I'd always go with my sister lived in Salt Lake, and we'd get our friends together and go out to see the fireworks. And it was a great time, maybe because you got the day off. But he showed up that day with her.
Okay.
And, knowing my best friend, I knew that he was with the wrong girl. Yeah, because I knew he was a dork. So I was like, oh, wow. There was this feeling, this connection, as if I knew it before. And I wasn't a guy who believed in love at first sight or anything like that. I was 29 by then, which in this state's a bit old, but to me, I was very happy.
Yeah.
And there she was. I'm like, oh, wow, this is impressive. So that's where we met. And you can tell what you thought when you saw
He
me.
called me and he said, do you need a ride from Brigham City to Salt Lake? I'm like, yeah, sure, that would be great. And
Well, go back. What was the first words came to your mind when you saw me?
oh, wait, let me first get to Salt Lake.
Yeah.
First drive to Salt
This
Lake.
story will be changed 3 times by the time. Go ahead.
So
dear.
we get to Salt Lake, we go to Sugar House Park to see the fireworks. And before that, I was warned. I came here 2 days earlier, and some people warned me. They're like, there are some guys, they live in Utah County. They like to date different girls every week.
Mm-hmm.
So we just want to warn you that they exist, just to kind of warn you so that you know not to be fooled. Yes. But if you're asked on a date, that it doesn't mean he's in love with you. So we come up the hill with his friend, and he's standing hugging a girl.
No.
Or you were holding hands.
No.
For sure.
She's a friend of mine.
Okay, well, you were holding hands, and he's staring at me, and I'm like, okay, I've been warned. I'm good, I'm protected because I know those guys, he's one of them. And that's so cool because I finally met one of them, which is cool. And he's looking at me, I'm like, no, that's not gonna happen because he's just weird. And
During the fireworks, she smiled at me, and that's all I knew.
I was just smiling at the fireworks because they were
You laughed
nice,
at me.
I
thought
was
I was
just
being
smiling. And
She made a mistake by smiling as I was looking at her, and I thought she was smiling at me.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I knew.
and he was still hugging another girl.
No. See?
So
It's been so long, man. Memories are fake.
That's okay. That's why we're doing this, is so that you can kind of remember. So what was it like when you guys were like, did you ask her out on a date? How did that go down?
So there were some logistics problems here because I lived in Ogden.
Yeah.
She was staying in Brigham City, but she also had friends in Salt Lake. And then my best friend lived in Provo.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I got to see this girl again somehow, some way. And we were playing on Friday nights. We go out to the Court Center in West Valley and play hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, this is brilliant. I can con. So my friend's a little cheap. Like, he's always looking for the cheapest way. Like, he'll go to Costa Vida and haggle over the 1 ounce of meat, or try to get a discount for $1, but it takes him an hour, 2 hours to get the discount. You're like, we could have just paid for it and just been done. But that's who he is. So I knew in my mind, I said, look, I'll have my friend David say, David, you invite Veronika to play hockey with us, but he won't want to drive all the way up there.
Not to play, to watch.
To watch. Sorry, to watch.
Yeah.
So have her come watch. She needs something to do. She's visiting. And from Provo to Brigham is too far. So he's like, yeah, that's great. So I think he called you or something, but he invited her. And then he's like, yeah, she's going to come. And then I'm like, but he's like, well, you're in Ogden. It fell right into my plan. It's like, you're in Ogden. Maybe you could pick her up. I was like, that's a great idea. What's her phone number? So that's how I got her phone number.
Okay.
I didn't know what, I guess I could have just showed up to it. I'm still friends with his family.
Yeah.
But it's like, I got to, so I got her phone number. And then I went and picked her up. And the phone number was in my phone after that. And she was here for 2 months. It wasn't like a couple of days.
Yeah.
So I was like, great. And so I'd invite her to the activities where I went to church. They'd have a boating activity. And what else did we do?
I vaguely remember that, but I remember when you texted me, you said, a group of us is going up to Logan for like a dinner or something. Would you like to come? And I was completely clueless. I'm like, yes, of course, that would be fun. And he showed up alone.
Well,
and I said,
I did invite someone else. But
I said, where is everybody? He's like, nobody could make it.
Oh, so it was like a play.
Yeah.
Okay.
And but getting her phone number, I could just invite her to things because of the proximity too. And my buddy, knowing him, he always had a new flavor of the month. Like, and he had already moved. He found actually the girl he was going to marry. He was already every month he'd tell me, like, oh, I met this girl. Whoa. But he's one of these guys who had to know, is she the one I'm going to marry? And he did that for like 15 years.
Okay.
And he finally married someone. But I knew that it was like, cool. I got rid of him. Now it's just me and her.
Yeah, and it maybe took you only like 2 months to figure out Veronika was the one.
Yeah, to convince her. But she had to go back.
I had to go back to
Europe.
Finish my bachelor's.
Oh, okay.
I had the last year. I lived in The Hague back then.
Mm-hmm.
And just went back to finish my bachelor's. And then I came back a year later. And we were just friends. We were
I can't believe she's not telling me the truth. She eventually did like me at the end of the 2 months. And, but it was one of those, she has to go back.
Okay. Yeah.
And so there was a time constraint but those 2 months for me was great when I did see her, because maybe we had quality. The summer's great because there's always something going on. It's great. It's like, let's just go watch a movie at home. In the winter, it's like someone's going boating. There's Bear Lake. There's hike. There's just things to do. There's events, farmers markets, whatever, things to go and see.
Yeah.
And so there was always just great stuff going on, and it was just easy just to say, hey, I should have gone. And by the end, we went on a date, an official date.
No, that was when they came back.
No, we went to the Brazilian place where they jump off the cliffs with Hala. Remember?
No, that was with someone else probably. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Did they jump off the cliffs?
Yeah, we went with her and her husband. We went to wherever. But you asked me. She's like, hey, you asked me if I could come with you, and
yes.
And I remember
I just don't remember jumping on the cliff.
Yeah, it was in Sandy. I don't know the place.
Okay.
It's in Brazil. No, it wasn't. I don't know what it was.
That's okay.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, but by after probably 3 or 4 weeks, I knew I really, really liked her.
Yeah.
So I was getting kind of desperate. She'd have to go back.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know. I had no idea. We were just hanging out as friends, a group of friends all the time. And it was too good to be true. I just like, it can't be true. Because
We clicked well.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, it's one of those like that was fun. You're going back.
But yeah, so I'm like, it's not gonna work because I'm leaving. So,
Yeah, I'm sure that's hard. And so now that you guys are married, and you're celebrating 14 years, right? Like 16 years together, 14.
Yeah, it's 15
something like that.
years. I thought. Yeah,
Yeah,
somewhere.
August 2011, we got married.
So
Okay.
15 of us.
Okay, awesome. And so with that, when you look back on like your 15 years together, what season has felt most defining for your marriage?
To me, it was having kids and little kids, and that's when women are the most vulnerable, and that really tests the relationship. What is he gonna do when I'm in bed with a kid and can't get out, can't work, can't do anything, just have to be with the baby? And that was a testing moment for me to see if he can actually, if this will last and if it's going to be a good marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a test to see, will he help me? Will he provide? Will he still like me? Where is this marriage going to go when there's this testing with having children?
Yeah. What about for you, Tony?
And that was not an issue for me. It wasn't like, okay, kids, gosh, I'm out of here. Like that wasn't the case. But you came from a different culture too.
From a different experiences.
Yeah. Where I didn't. I mean, my parents are still together.
Yeah.
And my dad worked every day. My mom, this was back in the 80s, 90s. And so like she stayed home and took care of us. Mom was always home when I came home from school. And so I guess it was just like, well, my duty's to work, so I'll go to work. And so, I mean, I've always worked since, but like some of the fears that she had were just like not even a concern to me. But maybe she didn't feel that comfort because it was just like, okay, I'm good to work. Let's come back and take care of the kid. And so.
Yeah, and that's one of the main reasons I even married him, that his parents didn't get divorced. His dad was respectful to the mom. The mom had a voice in the family, maybe too
She had a
loud.
loud voice. She
A
had
very
a
loud
voice.
voice.
Yeah, my mom was probably my dad. But we had two completely different childhoods. Completely different.
Yeah.
So what worries her, to me,
Yes, I grew up in a family where my dad had issues with alcohol, even though he was kind, not abusive, but he just drank and did not work. And my mom was codependent. She kind of allowed that to happen a little bit. She worked, she went to school, she earned the money. And I grew up observing all this. And normally when you do that, people whether repeat the story, most of the time, I was supposed to repeat the story and find somebody with an addiction and save him all my life. But I went the other extreme. I'm gonna be not codependent. I'm gonna have a voice. I'm gonna have an opinion, and I'm gonna be allowed to express it. And I'm gonna find someone who is actually codependent on me instead of me being codependent.
Yeah. Do you feel like that feeling of being independent? And because I feel like a lot of times, especially like nowadays with dating, and like I've experienced this a lot, and I've seen a lot of my friends go through this, like, I need to be independent and be my own person and whatever, like not necessarily to like be like appease a partner or whatever, but yeah, but like sometimes I think a lot of people go a little too far on that scale of like, I don't need anyone, like I don't need to depend on anyone. And I think your marriage and like what I'm seeing now with you guys is like you guys are very like you were saying, Veronika, interdependent on each other. So like how has that kind of shift helped you guys in your marriage? How has that dynamic of interdependence helped?
I feel like I'm able as a woman to say no to something I don't want to do. And I see in my friends and neighbors where women want to say no, but they can't, because if they say no and the husband doesn't like it, there might be consequences for them, because he's the breadwinner. Everything is dependent on him. He's financial provider, and they kind of become his shadow, his assistant, or they call companion. However, a companion to this king feels like he's the king and she's the companion.
Yeah.
So I did that mostly it started out of fear a little bit. And now I see the benefits. Now it's only the benefits, but it started out of fear. When my kids were little, they were 3 and 1, 4 and 1. I went back to school and got my master's.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And because I felt like he's an ideal husband, but I still wanted to show, it doesn't mean my kids will have an ideal spouse. And I wanted to show to my kids that, look, mom can develop herself. Mom doesn't have to be at the stove all her life. Dad doesn't put mom at the stove. But if I was completely dependent, you never know. What if he says, no, your place is at the stove? And I know he would never say that, but I see a lot of women where a husband does say that. And the husband says, hey, we don't have money for you to finish your bachelor's. But he has money to invest in the stock market. He has money to buy a second house as an Airbnb and rent it out. Third house, fourth house.
Yeah.
But no money to invest in the wife. That's why I told Tony I was a wreck when the kids were like 3 and 6, and I said
she was struggling.
I was struggling,
and I didn't really pick up on it. I was at work all day, and I'd come home until it was draining her. Because there's different phases. You've got like you first married, honeymoon, and then kids come along and they suck the life out of you. They're wonderful, but they drain you, and you forget all the fun things you did because you're taking care of your kids.
We did have a family support, direct family support, like a grandma who is always there to help you.
Yeah.
And it kind of drained me, and I said, hey, I want to do something for me, and I think that will be good for the kids to say later, hey, mom, my mom was not depressed, like I didn't grow up, my mom in a depressed family, like, where my mom was always on social media, depressed and with anxiety or something. I wanted them to grow up and say, my mom did what she wanted to do, and I want to follow the example. So I said, hey, Tony, can you invest in me? Can you that $1,000 extra that we have? Can you invest in me instead of the stock market? And I promised the return, even though I didn't believe in the return.
She actually talked to me because I'm like, she has a bachelor's degree.
I'll buy you a truck. I had to do anything. I conned him. I pretty much lied. But it was like survival lie. A survival lie sometimes is justified.
Yeah, and I wasn't anti.
And I never got you a truck. I'm sorry.
Not yet, of course. I was never anti-school. I was just more like, she had a bachelor's degree. So part of me is kind of like, well, why you need to go back? And it was really good for her. But for me at the time, I'm like, it really helped was COVID, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was big, because that changed what we were to something different.
Yes, because I was able to do my school online. I went to Weber State.
Okay, yeah.
MBA, and that really helped because I could be home with the kids during the day.
Okay.
And at 9 p.m., he would take the kids to take them to bed, and I would study 9 to 11 every night.
And also, I was sent to work from home.
Okay.
For 5 years, I worked from home.
Wow.
Which was it was great because now I'm at home working, and I can, if a kid needs something
and I'm actually working in the office now. So.
Yeah, and it was, but it changed our relationship because now I'm there.
Yeah.
And so COVID was actually a blessing for our relationship.
Yeah.
I don't know if some people
I know many
hated it.
people got divorced during
Yeah,
COVID,
maybe so.
but-
For us, it was actually better. I was
Yeah.
always home. I enjoyed being home with my family, and I was happy because we were home when our kids were little.
Yeah.
She got to go out and develop herself, and it was okay to go get a job and leave.
And
But we didn't really want to daycare our kids. I mean,
we
we could've.
tried. They needed it.
yeah, they would watch us walk away. And we're like, don't look at me. Just enjoy this place. And so it didn't, because you're married, when your kids come along, it just changes your dynamic. They suck so much of your energy. And it's not a horrible thing. It's a good thing, but you forget about each other.
Yeah.
And I forgot about her health because it was just like kids, you get in a routine.
Yeah.
And it becomes repetitive.
Yeah.
Until someone breaks. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we need to fix something.
And it sounds like COVID was kind of like that big break for you guys
Yeah.
a little bit. So like over the years that you've been together, and like obviously we can touch on the COVID and kind of what happened and what shifted there. So how did you guys change as individuals over the years? Because I feel like because with this, it sounds like you guys were both developing personally. You were trying to maintain a family with wonderful kids, but you were also trying to like develop your relationship, and it kind of sounds like it came to a head during COVID and kind of like this new way. I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, and it's changing as a person. I mean, I'd like to think I'm older and wiser. I've learned to listen to Veronika more than
Do it yourself.
yeah, or just be like, okay, like not blow her off, but like, okay, you're just worried a lot. That's just your personality.
Mm-hmm.
You worry. She does worry a lot, and so I'm just thinking, okay, she's just worrying, and then realizing it's a little more than that. It's not just being nervous of Monday morning work, and so I think I can pick on those better. I don't know. She can be the judge of that, but you get older, you get a little wiser. And you also get more comfortable with each other. And like, I think when you first married, you fall in love, and then all of a sudden you get annoyed by the things they do, and then you eventually accept it not in a bad way. Like I just give up, I'm broken, but then I like this is who she is, and it's easy. This is what it is, and you almost enjoy their differences.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just every day I'm just so happy that he is my husband. I never thought this was a mistake or something like that, because I often hear from my friends or just people that they got married and she had to quit to travel with him for his law degree or something so that he could finish his schooling. And I never had to do that. In fact, in this marriage, I just bloomed like as a person, and I didn't have to sacrifice anything. I don't know, maybe sacrificing something was good, but I didn't have to. And he allowed me, he didn't feel threatened that I wanted to have a competitive career to a man. He didn't tell me what I could do, like you should be this or that. He said, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to go back to school and find a full-time job. And he didn't feel threatened that I would leave, and everybody will know how terrible he is because his wife left. He didn't want to oppress me, and he didn't oppress me.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I think that there's so much value in learning to like grow as individuals while together. I think
it's very hard.
It's so hard. And like, because I've had past relationships where I've not necessarily felt like I couldn't grow because like whoever I was with like didn't allow me to grow, but it was just kind of like this weird state of mind that I had, especially during college, because I was just like trying to figure out who I was and where I was going with my life. But now as kind of like I've moved on and I've learned and I'm in like a new relationship, like he's allowed me to do like what I want. He's like, Mary, I want you to literally like get out of the house.
And he's not afraid that
And-
you will never come back, right?
Exactly.
Because you'll become so famous. And
Oh, I don't know about famous, but it's so much easier to like come back to someone when you know who you are and like you know who you are with that
it
person.
actually makes you want to stay with them on your own will, not because they provide for you financially and you have nowhere to go. You know, the kids will have to change school and everything will fall apart if you break up.
Yeah.
Well, and I recognize like she was struggling emotionally because it's hard when kids are young. But again, COVID allowed me to be home. I realized that she needed to get out of the house.
Yeah.
And work would have been a great, like, that's what she wanted. And I'm like, that would be, like, I was more worried about just her well-being. I don't think I care if she was just a volunteer at some non-profit place or whatever. Like, just, she needed to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it. And I'm just glad she chose to make lots of money. Like,
that's awesome.
but
You're
like,
getting that
she-
truck soon.
like, she needs to get out of this house.
Yeah.
She needs to get up. And then me working 5 years from home, I even, by the end of the 5 years, I was like, I need to get out of this house. Like, we need to do something with our lives.
Yeah.
And so I recognize that and so go for it.
That's beautiful. I have one question that, because when I started this idea for this podcast, I sat down with some of my friends and I was just kind of like rapid firing questions a little bit, where it's like, what was hard in your marriage? What was easy? And like, they were like, we were just having this back and forth discussion and they were like, wow, this is really like helpful. And so like, that's kind of like why we're having this discussion, is so to understand like people's perspectives and relationships. Because I think we all see those like comedy bits on like Facebook or Instagram or whatever, where it's like, oh, haha, marriage, or like, haha, this funny quirk of my husband's. But like those quirks and those like, those little like tiny things that like make life enjoyable with someone are what really count in a marriage. And I'm not usually one to try and like poke fun at that, because I think those little individuality like quirks are so fun. So what's been like something for you guys that like you've maybe had to like, what's a quirk that's been either hard to overcome, or like what's then a quirk that has been easy to kind of handle? Because I think, because one of my quirks is like, I say, this is gonna sound corny or whatever, and my boyfriend is like, stop saying that. So like that's kind of an example of like a little quirk. What do you guys have that's a quirk?
Like something that annoys you.
Mm-hmm. And like, how have you guys like overcome it a little bit?
I am the most sociable one in this. Like, we go to the store, I see someone, I start talking to them.
Okay, yeah.
And I'll talk to them for an hour.
And that poor
And she
person
leaves.
can't escape.
She leaves, and she just takes the cart and gets all the food. And then I get a phone call like, we're done. You need to leave. And, but I like that about her, like, that, because our personalities complement each other.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Kind of extrovert, introvert.
Yeah. And so yeah, it already slipped my mind. So I guess it doesn't matter. But like, that's a quirk that I like about her, because I don't feel guilty talk, like, oh, sorry, I gotta go. Like, she just lets me talk.
Yeah.
No.
And then sometimes
really
she's,
mad.
well, she will, okay, she's really mad, so that's the quirk. But sometimes she does look at me like, we need to go now. But I look in our front yard. If I know you and you walk past and I start talking to you,
Mm-hmm.
what's your fault? You walk past my front yard.
People they don't walk past.
You
their
walk
house
past my
anymore.
sidewalk and I talk to you. It's your fault. You shouldn't have walked past my house.
Yeah.
And yeah, there have been some neighbors I think probably avoid me now because just keep going, and they're too nice. They're too polite to say,
Yeah.
I need to go. But yeah, I mean, it's something that complements, because I feel like she doesn't talk enough, because maybe I talk too much. But I like that about her. I like that.
I love
And
that.
It's nice that somebody else talks. You know.
Yeah.
Well, we go to a party or something, and she sits there and just takes it in. And I like that.
Mm-hmm.
She can just be there, because some people wouldn't even be able to socialize. I can't go to this. I can't do this. She actually picks the parties more.
I actually go.
Actually, she's like, we're going to go
Nice.
to this place. And I'm like, I don't know about that. And then I end up talking for 3 hours straight to someone in the corner, and they can't get away.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, that wasn't that bad. So she sets up the event, and I do the performance, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I love
it
that.
works well. It works well for us.
Yeah. Sometimes those complementary like quirks, it's like there are those personality quirks more so like introvert, extrovert, like compatibility is so interesting because I think it works. And I think for you guys, it sounds like it works really well, but maybe at the beginning it was a little bit tricky to figure out.
I think another one that's good for us is she just goes to bed when she's tired. I'm like, what about the kids? Our kids are grown up.
Because when I was doing MBA, that's what we decided. It was the kids to bed.
She does it home.
And it's just like.
But I've learned to
like
love
not
that.
all the time.
That's my time with my kids at night, and they tell me everything. My daughter, she's now 13, going on 14. She's a teenager now, but
Yeah.
like my kids tell me everything, and I just enjoy that time with them because I'm like, okay, Mom, you take care of it.
I did that on purpose. I wanted to make sure that my daughter has a best friend, and that's her dad.
Yeah.
Because that's something I didn't have. That was I just tricked you. Yeah. I said I had to do homework.
But she's like, you're in bed? It's only 9. She's but I love that. And although unfortunately a lot of times my son still wants me to lay down with him, and I'm the one who puts him to bed every night. Unfortunately, I sometimes fall asleep in his bed, and then I wake up and my back is jacked and my neck's jacked. It's 2 a.m. and I roll up to the bedroom all messed up. But that's a quirk that, like, for some people, it'd be like, what are you doing? Get these kids to help me out. But to me, I enjoy that time, and it's worked really well for us.
I don't know.
They grow up so fast.
I don't know any man who puts his kids to bed. Like, do you know anybody?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind it.
I didn't ask.
And my daughter likes scary movies, and she scares our son, and then he doesn't
Oh.
go downstairs. It's half the reason he's scared of the dark.
Oh, okay,
But, yeah, it's one of those, like, we didn't discuss this. Like, you'll go to bed and I'll stay up,
Mm-hmm.
but it just works well,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something I enjoy doing, and I look forward to helping my kids get ready for the night, chatting with them for a little bit if I want.
I love that.
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
What about you? Do you have any odd quirks or things?
I think we were good for each other because I was too tense and too nerdy. He's laid back. I was too much into education. He wasn't enough. So I kind of pulled him into that, and he pulled me to a little bit relax in life in general, not to be so tense and anxious.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of help each other with that. And I said, hey, you need to do an MBA because I'm pregnant. That's what I said like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We need to provide for the kids. And that kind of pushed him as well. So kind of added to each other success.
You look at people in your life too. There's some people who just naturally fall in your life. And our relationship, I think, was pretty natural.
Yeah, it kind of felt.
We still had to work. And there's a lot of misunderstanding, especially with culture.
Yeah.
Being from Europe and I'm from here. But like, if I were to give anyone recommendations on that relationship, it's like find someone who you can be somewhat natural with. Not perfect, but like where you're comfortable being you.
That you can stuck in an elevator with someone.
Yeah.
If you're a girl dating somebody, can you be stuck with him in an elevator and feel comfortable for 2 hours? Or being stuck somewhere, like, can you be yourself?
Because you always put your best self forward. Oh, look how great I am.
Yeah.
And then eventually you just fall off. But like, if you can still be comfortable with each other, I think that's important. You can sit in the house and not, I don't know, just be in the same home and not worry all the time. Like, what do you think of it? What do you think of it? What do you think of it?
Yeah.
And do your thing. So,
it's totally like a learning curve where you're trying to like adjust to a new life with someone. And especially when you live together, like there are certain little like quirks or tics where it's like, I make sure all the lights are turned off before I leave a room, or some people like to keep the lights on. And then I get frustrated where I'm like, oh no, utilities, electricity.
He leaves the door unlocked. Just reminded me.
I had mine once or twice.
But it's okay because like you guys learn to kind of love each other through those little quirks and while learning about each other.
It depends on the quirks. Like we have very tolerable ones.
Yeah.
I'm just lucky. I'm just pure lucky. I don't know. I haven't seen a man like that.
Well, maybe your background.
In all my friends, there's always something. Some are on CBD, some are depressed, some are playing video games after work for 4 hours. There's always some flaw that I've seen. He does not have that except for the door that you leave unlocked
Well, the
every night.
The other door is locked. One of them.
And his cooking is not very good.
Yes.
But like I can tolerate his flaws. And that's what
some people get so caught up on
marriage.
their partner's flaws, and you're like, I guess it's more of a like look at what's going on in the world, and then your problems are like, well, he doesn't close the cabinet drawer or something, or all the way. It's like, if that's the worst problem in your life is good.
Yeah.
And so I say that probably once a week to myself when I'm complaining, like, really, these are my problems? And then you watch the news, you're like, oh, we don't have problems. Like,
yeah.
And I see people getting depressed in my own neighborhood. Maybe it's just, and I'm like, why are you depressed? You have the immaculate yard. You have beautiful homes.
No crime.
Everyone's struggling with their mental health. I'm like, this is not a problem.
All the resources available for you.
Yeah, we live in a place that is
to improve.
Wonderful, and so I think perspective. And if you take that to your relationship too, like the little petty things that may break you, in reality, like, really, that's your biggest problem. I mean, and sadly, I also learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah,
I listen, through watching friends, coworkers in life struggle with relationships. I'm thinking, I don't have any problems. I mean, if it's just turning off a light, my life is good.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Perspective is important.
Perspective is important. And speaking of perspective, this is going to be one of those perspective questions, and like kind of what we've been talking about, how like you kind of learn and grow together. What's something that you have learned about each other or about your spouse in the last few years that surprised you?
Oh, I don't know. Surprised me?
I can convince Tony to do anything. And that was very surprising. Like, is that easy? Right?
I guess. I'm not manipulating. I don't know if surprised. I learned to appreciate her more, I think, when we were first married, because I'm like, well, this is what you do, this is what I do, is more expected. And then you get older and you realize, like, life is kind of hard.
It's not that black and white.
Yeah. Well, it's just more like appreciative, like, like you're tired and getting up all the time. It's hard because because she went to work, she still cooks for us. And I mean, I could, but then she doesn't like me. But like, she's still mom. And like, I don't know. I think I've learned just to appreciate more what she does.
I think when we just got married, in your mind, it was you go to work 9 to 5, and I'm home with the kids. I cook and clean.
Well, our daughter was born 9 months after we were married.
Because that's what it was for him.
That was my
That
life.
was his parents.
Yeah.
And they were happy. She cleaned and stayed at home and cooked. Did she clean?
Yeah, she was pretty.
Okay. She was a homemaker, but she was a happy homemaker. It was a different era as well.
Yeah.
But and in his mind, he thought that's what makes a woman happy. And then I think when he realized about 3 years into our marriage that it's not as black and white, and there is so much to that, it was an eye-opening for him.
I recognized she needed to do something else besides sit at home all day.
Yeah.
So she worked in the evening.
He realized there was a human too who wanted to develop myself, who had dreams, goals, wishes. And those dreams, goals, and wishes were not his, and they were not the same as his. And that's what united us, is when he said, hey, you can go and achieve your goal, even though it's not mine, but we can still be in a happy marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, to be honest though, I'll confess, like COVID, I'm at home. So yeah, go do what you need to do. Like, I think if it was still grinding out all day, and the kids were older too, and that was what kind of like I couldn't put my 1-year-old in daycare. We did 1 day a week, and I just hated it. And so I was just hoping,
I
like,
felt so guilty.
Yeah.
I even went to my kids' doctor.
How you manage your kids will greatly affect your relationship.
And I said, hey, will my kids be affected if mom goes to work and develops herself? Will they be ruined for life? And he said, hey, look, my mom was a lawyer. She always worked with me. I'm a successful doctor. So he said, they'll be just fine if you go to work. They'll be even better off later. So that kind of gave me a peace of mind.
Yeah, there's that guilt with your kids, but it affects your relationship.
Yeah, in the beginning, I did.
Yeah,
because they were pretty little.
And I think for me, I found my peace of like, okay, kids are okay. Like, check that box, because sometimes they come first, not second. And
no, they always come first.
Yeah, and so you're just like, well, kids. How can you go do all this stuff with our kids? And they were growing up, and I was home.
That's why I took step by step. First, the master's degree didn't work. I wasn't working. So 2 hours a day. People are on social media 2 hours a day. You know, it's just about priorities.
Yeah.
But that was a big, era in our lives, was helping mom be happy. It was kind of blindly going. Will I
even find a job? I was kind of blindfolded, even like, I can't be a homemaker. It's not for me. And I'll just rather be blindfolded and do something else. And maybe something good will come out of it. I don't know. Yeah. But it did. It did eventually.
But that controlled 5, 6, 7 years of our lives. It's just
hard work.
How to keep you happy. Or how to keep you sane. But it meant a lot to me. I don't know what other people do, but to me, I want to try.
And I'm just glad I had the courage to say,
yeah, hey, shouldn't tell me.
Happy.
I didn't know.
He's like, you're unhappy, everything is good.
Yeah.
If you have your own home with food on your table, you have 2 kids, why are you unhappy? And I felt so guilty. I'm like, yeah, it's true. Why am I unhappy? But then I had the courage to say, hey, something needs to change. And that's what many women will never have the courage to say that.
Yeah, I think that's so beautiful. I love this like reflection on your guys' past, because I think there's so much value in like what you're saying is like there needs to be courage to speak up, and like there's this need to have courage and speak up and say like what's going on in a relationship, because I think some people get in their head, especially when it's like Instagram or whatever, like only like people's relationships are only these like highlighted parts of their lives.
We don't have those. It's only struggle.
And she didn't come to be like, I'm gonna do this. It was more I'm independent. It was more
I was crying.
Yeah.
Laying on the floor crying.
Yeah. I came home, I'm like,
and I was so scared to say.
Yeah.
I was so scared.
Which made me, I'm like, am I?
My courage wasn't me on a horse.
Yeah.
So I think she knew it, and I had to recognize it. And say, we got to get you to do something. And the master's degree, and then getting her work. She works in contracts, and she's very good at it. And it's been great.
I love that. That's beautiful. Well, thank you guys for sharing a little bit about your past with us. I kind of want to go look forward into the future. What adventures are you looking forward to, or do you have any like what's the next chapter looking forward look like for you guys?
Well, I'm super excited. Most of the time, I'm 46 now, and I think a lot of people who reach that age, have midlife crisis. But because we're to, how do I say this? I don't want to curse ourselves, but like there's a page, it feels like the page in our life is turning where we're now becoming financially stable. Our kids are growing up. And when they were little, we didn't do anything. We didn't do anything. We just, the kids, and we weren't a family that went off to Disneyland and stuff. And we were able to save money.
Well, I was always in school, so we did do something.
But even when you started working, like we just have been grinding, like work, save. And now we're to a point where like we can finally afford to go do things. And our kids are older enough that they can enjoy the experience. And so I'm excited, like they get to have an experience. We get to experience as a family, and we can afford it. Where when you're younger, sometimes that's harder to do. But like I'm excited to take them. I feel like we kind of deprived ourselves for years of not getting out. And so I'm excited. Instead of a midlife crisis, I'm like feeling excited again to just go hiking up the mountainside because my kids can do it.
Yeah.
Or to go to the ocean or to go on a trip. And we can do it now. It's not going to be added stress in our lives. So I think we're turning into an era where it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm an optimist though. So, but they can now, because we took our kids to France and the youngest doesn't remember anything.
Yeah.
This was before COVID, to go see grandma. He doesn't remember a thing. And they're like, oh, it was so fun. Now he can walk far. Like trying to carry a kid in the subway is terrible.
Oh, I'm sure.
And so, yeah, I'm excited for the events. And we just have to execute and do them. Sometimes we talk a lot.
We're pretty lazy.
Yeah, sometimes we're just tired.
But I like how you mentioned midlife crisis. I've been in midlife crisis for at least 5 years, or maybe all my life. But I've acknowledged my midlife crisis in the last 4 years, and it's very liberating to be in a midlife crisis because you can finally change things.
Yeah.
You can finally have courage and maybe fear, but still you can finally say everything you want to say and start doing everything you want to do. So that's actually liberating for me, and I love it. I hope it lasts longer.
Yeah. I love that. And so now that we're kind of coming to the end of the podcast, thank you guys again so much for sharing. Like truly, I think like there's a whiteboard back here and it says, if you change one person's life, you've changed the world in its entirety. And I think your relationship and what you've shared with us today really will impact people, because sometimes it's just so nice to hear like a real couple, real life, where it's not necessarily like all sunshine and rainbows. Like
we don't have sunshine and rainbows. We would show, but there's nothing to show.
And like
it's raining, but it's good. We're constantly solving problems, constantly coming up with solutions.
Yeah. And I think that's so important because it shows that like real relationships aren't like a Hallmark movie. Because I think Hallmark movies are just like, they show all like the good stuff and they show like a teeny bit part of the hard stuff.
Is always, it's before the wedding, right? They never show the second part two.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And so I have like 3 final questions for you guys. These are kind of like the rapid fire questions. And these are kind of like more so the advice that you would give people like who are listening to the show, is when things get hard, what is the core reason, that one thing about your partner or your life together that makes giving up not an option for you?
Seeing the whole picture and knowing that he has a lot of good things about him, that I'm just very lucky. However, I don't feel lucky in the moment, but maybe I know comparing is not a good thing. You say don't ever compare, but I do compare, and it helps me grow, helps me develop myself, get ambition. So then I look at other couples and I say, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I think it's just the outlook on life. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just stay optimistic. Like, yeah, there's trials, but I don't know. I see a lot of lonely people in this world. I don't want to come on them over something we disagree on, because there's a lot of lonely people out there. So, why give up on something over something petty?
Yeah.
So.
And there are lonely people in marriages as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you guys so much for sharing. Okay, next question. So we've talked a little bit about like how your relationship wasn't really necessarily messy, but like things in your life were just kind of like you were figuring out like the puzzle pieces, and you were kind of like wondering about that. And so relationships can be hard to figure out, and especially I kind of think of relationships as like a puzzle, and like as you go along with time, like you kind of like fit puzzle pieces together, and you fit puzzle pieces of your life together, and it just like over time creates one big picture. And so what is one practice or mindset that you guys have, and we kind of talked about this a little bit, that has helped you to stay close when you feel disconnected with each other?
Go for walks. Well, like, that's a good, when you go for a walk, it's quiet, it's just you two, there's no distractions, and we can talk, and it just helps your day and stuff. So I think the walk is quality time. It's exercise too, but it's we're away from the kids and everything else, work, everything is behind us. It works well 9 months of the year.
Well, it's worked well this year, probably.
Who are you? Life sucks, but we go for walks in the evening, and it's really healthy, I think, because we can talk, and so we can stay current, stay in the moment.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
No phones, no nothing. We just walk. So I highly encourage walking.
I love that. Anything you would add, Veronika?
I think when everything is falling apart, for us, what's being something that's similar to hold on to is to be on the same page financially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because when everything is bad, and then the spouse goes and spends all the money, that's making it worse.
One thing that's done well for us is our financial mindset, philosophies, goals are near identical.
And that's probably the only thing that's identical.
We're pretty much opposite. But when it comes to finances, we're on the same page, and it's easy.
It's a little bit like a glue, at least one less big piece of puzzle to put together.
Mm-hmm.
It's always there.
Awesome. Wonderful. Okay, now this is the big doozy of a question, because this is kind of like thinking back to when you were first like newly married, and like knowing what you know now. What is one thing you wish you could tell yourself on the day like your relationship or your marriage first began?
I think I would have tried to convince her about Bitcoin. No, let's see what. I don't know. I have happy memories of when I was first married. I have happy memories of my whole life. Maybe it's just my outlook on life. There were some tough times at work that really was dragging me down. I think I wasn't as happy, but I've just chosen to see the world in a good place. But back then, I think I would have told her, like, it's okay, I'll take care of you. Like, I want to say, don't worry. That's so cliche, but like, I am here. You don't need to stress about things. I'm always going to be here working and taking care of us as long as I'm alive. So I think that's what I told her. Tried to convince her, but maybe she won't ever believe me.
I didn't about Bitcoin.
That ship's we'll find the next one.
I always doubt myself. I would say to stop doubting myself, because now looking back, I think I did everything right. I just didn't believe in myself, but I still kept going. So maybe that's okay too, as long as you keep going, whether you believe in yourself or not. Let's just just do your part to achieve your goals every day. Do something every day for that, and don't doubt yourself. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, because you did everything you could to make it work. At least you tried.
Yeah.
I would say one more thing too.
Yeah.
As far as feeling guilty as a mom, like, your kids are really the only ones that can vote on how if you're a good mom or not. So she was really hard on herself. I'm a terrible mom. Because mom guilt.
I'm a C+ mom.
But I'm like, well,
C-. Why?
I'm like, go ask your kids if you're a good mom, and they what'd they give you? A
minus and A.
Yeah.
A and
so
A
like,
minus.
don't don't beat yourself up, because the people around you are the ones who can vote. The people who truly love you will, tell you how great you are.
Yeah.
Or if you're terrible, it's terrible. But I mean, yeah, just if your kids say you're a great mom, you're a great mom.
Yeah.
And no one on the outside can chime in, because you're not my mom.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Well, thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you for being willing to be my first guests. I'm so excited, and thank you for celebrating your year with us. Anniversaries aren't really just about like how long you've been together. It's just celebrating how much you've grown together. So thank you for celebrating the growth, and thank you for just being so vulnerable, because sometimes it's a little bit tricky, especially on a podcast where you're like, oh no, who's gonna all see this? But I think that vulnerability is where people really latch on to that understanding that there are things in relationships where you're just gonna have to work through it together. And I think your relationship has really shown that, and it looks like you guys are incredibly happy together, and honestly just so at peace. I don't know how to describe it well in words, even though we're on a podcast and we're talking words. But really, again, truly thank you guys for being here. So whether you're married, dating, single, or somewhere in between, I hope this conversation inspires you to reflect on what you're building, and to remember that love is less about perfection and more about intention. Another year, another layer, another opportunity to choose each other. If you know a friend or a couple whose story should be celebrated, I would love to meet them. Send this episode their way and have them fill out the link in the description below so that we can celebrate their next anniversary too. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.